Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Becca and this is my channel where we talk about all the houseplant things. I'm restarting my series where I talk about my favorite plants and plant products every month. And if you can believe it, it is already time for another one. So welcome to the May favorites video where we discuss all of my plants and products that stood out to me this month. I'm super excited to get this started because we're starting off with a bang. We're starting off with my philodendron Biliatia. Now this plant, I know that I have featured it in a favorites video a few years ago, but look at it now. It's huge and she is just putting in the work. Okay, so it is actually desperately needing a repot. If I had to guess, we have some roots coming out the bottom, we have a root coming out the top, and it's kind of just like being held on literally by the root system because the plant is so heavy that it has come out of the pot. I just got this new leaf. Where did the leaf come out? I guess it was this one that's new. You can see it's like still pretty shiny and we already have a very, very pregnant leaf right here. So I'm super excited to see what she will do in the coming months, because if this is the growth rate that we're working with now, that's crazy. It's getting significantly less light than it used to get at my old house, but the humidity in here, I'm gonna say, is a lot higher, and I'm doing a much better job of watering it when it needs to be watered. But because there are so many roots in the soil, it is needing to be watered quite a bit. But that's one of the reasons that I really love this plant, is that it's pretty drought tolerant. Like, it honestly handles neglect very, very well. As you can see, the stems are very, very thick and the leaves themselves are pretty structured. So all of that tells me that this plant is pretty drought tolerant and can handle a little bit of neglect. And so I saw in a video on TikTok a few videos back on my TikTok reactions video, somebody called the Biliatia like a great starter plant. And 5 years ago, I would have been shocked that someone would say that, but after having the plant for so many years, and also after seeing it in a big box store for like $20, 100%, I think that this is a really great beginner plant. I mean, I feel like honestly, the reason why it wasn't in more houses earlier on is just because it was harder to find, like at a cheaper price, but they grow really well. And this actually is a middle cutting from my friend Adam's plant many years ago. I don't even know if he has the mother plant anymore. I'll have to check in with him. But the original plant, I gifted him because I did an import and I had like extra plants and I was like, okay, like, what do you want, Adam? So he picked out a Biliatia. Anyway, this is a piece of that original plant. So it's really cool that it has this fun little story attached to it. And look at her now. She is absolutely thriving. Stay tuned because I will probably be repotting it sometime this summer. Now, my two plant products are related to watering, which just feels really relevant right now. I'm in my watering era. I'm in my remembering to water my plants era. So I got a new plant-a-potty, and that has been like all of my thoughts recently. Like, I'm just so happy to have this, and I'm just amazed at the invention of this product. So if you've never seen a plant-a-potty before, essentially it's a accessory that you put on top of a 5-gallon bucket, and it turns that into a watering station and a tool station and just your houseplant station in general. I'm thinking about making like a plant cart out of one of those like round roller carts. I need to find one online somewhere where I can put the plant-a-potty on top and then just sort of roll it around. I have it currently on like a short like plant caster thing so that it is easy to move around, but I do still have to like bend over a lot to do things on it. So anyway, the plant-a-potty changed my life in so many ways. I will have it linked down below. Anything that is shoppable in this video, I'll have linked down below if you're interested. But plant-a-potty is a really awesome small business. They sell on Etsy. Everything is 3D printed, and actually there are some non-3D printed elements in here as well with some of their newer accessories. And it just makes a bucket turn into something that is so much more. And honestly, if you're watering your plants as often as you probably are, the least you can do for yourself is make it a more enjoyable experience, and the plant-a-potty is my #1 suggestion for doing that. Okay, on the list of plants that I never thought that I would own is the Aglaonema pictum tricolor. This plant, when it first came onto the scene, was extremely expensive, and also it was known for being very hard to take care of. But I am here to tell you that I do not feel that it is hard to take care of at all. I currently have it in a self-watering pot, which is probably helping a lot. It currently has fungus gnats as well because it is staying kind of moist. But point is, as long as it has access to water, it has been an absolute dream. It's put out like 3 or 4 new leaves since I got it. It was pretty small when I first bought it, but it has absolutely taken off, and you can see like clearly it's facing one side. The back of this leaf, or the back of this plant, looks so funny. I need to do a better job of rotating it because I actually don't really like the way that this looks, but it's in a much lower light situation than I would have thought that it would be okay with. But I should have known because Aglaonema are just really solid, easy plants in general. I always tell people that the Aglaonema Silver Bay is a great starter plant, which I don't have one right now, and it's a real shame because I think that I should always have one. Maybe I need to go shopping. I probably don't need to go shopping, but it would be fun. But anyway, the Aglaonema pictum tricolor is known for its sort of like camo looking leaves. I mean, it's just such a beautiful special plant. Every single leaf is unique yet similar. It just is really cohesive and nice. And I just love the way that it looks, especially in this self-watering pot. I need to find more of these because this self-watering pot is like actually such a dream. This part of it looks like terracotta, which I really like having terracotta pots in my collection, but it has a water reservoir underneath, and it is just really great at holding moisture because the inside of it is glazed. So you get all of like the look and the fun of terracotta while also being practical, because there was a point in time where basically my entire collection was in terracotta because I was terrified of glazed pots. And eventually I did get over that. And once I got over that, my plants really took a turn to be much happier than they were before. So take my advice, don't be afraid of glazed pottery. I feel like that was kind of just a me thing. I don't know how many other people were afraid of them, but I've always been afraid of overwatering my plants and like getting root rot and all that kind of stuff. So I tend to like swing the pendulum in the opposite direction and then just like severely underwater all of my plants. And I'm trying to find balance in that, and the glazed pots have helped tremendously, especially with keeping a plant like this alive. Make sure you rotate yours so that it doesn't end up looking like this. I'm probably going to turn it away from the window, maybe just slightly, so that it has like an opportunity to even itself out a little bit more. This video is kindly sponsored by Squarespace, which is really great because I just finished up a pre-sale on my website for some merch, and I absolutely love the collection. If you missed it, it will be coming out again sometime soon, but I do use Squarespace for my website because it is very simple to use. I like to use it to just have a centralized place so that people, when they ask me what I do, I can just say, go to my website. Building a website has never been easier, especially thanks to Squarespace's Blueprint AI. Basically, you can get a fully customized website in just a few steps. As we are all consumers of products, you know that a website that looks good is probably going to make you want to buy something more than a website that is horrible to use. So your web presence is super important, and I love Squarespace for making it a simple, easy process to not only create a website, but run the website. I use their email campaigns to not send spam emails, but to just let people know kind of what I'm doing, because not everybody is going to see time-sensitive information if I post it on Instagram, but if you get a notification from your email, people are more likely to see it, and I guess that's why, you know, email marketing is so popular even still. I will leave a link for them in the description box below, and also you can use the code BeccaDeLaPlants10 to get 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. The next plant product on my list is a retractable hose. Having this garden hose has really changed everything for me. I do outdoor gardening, and I also use my hose to water my plants because I'm able to bring the hose into this room. This room is a covered patio, essentially. There's no central air in here, and it's just like a closed-in section. And so it's cement floors. The walls are exterior siding that I painted yellow. It's an exterior space with interior vibes, which is honestly perfect for what I do. Like, I never am really afraid of getting the floor wet because it's just cement. I love the retractable hose because one of the worst things in the world is having to like crank the hose closed. I used to have to do that at our house in Missouri with like a 200-foot hose. Like, I was just sitting there for like 10 minutes, like cranking it. It was horrible. I hated it. 10 out of 10, do not recommend. So this hose, well, first of all, long hoses are already very expensive as it is. I don't know if you guys have ever gone hose shopping. And I thought that doing a retractable hose would be like some astronomical number. But in the grand scheme of things, you're already buying a hose, and then you have to buy the hose house to like store it in, I don't know, you're racking up quite the bill as it is. So I decided to just invest in a mounted retractable hose. I will link it down below. I think it's from the brand Giraffe Works or something like that. There's a couple different brands that have made one. Hose Link is the one, and then also Vigo Garden, who my garden and everything regarding my garden is from Vigo. So lots of different options. I'll link a few down below if you're interested. I also have a code with Vigo Garden for $25 off a purchase of $150 or more until the end of June. So just wanted to put that out there. If you are wanting to get into indoor outdoor gardening, they have some really, really wonderful products. Raised beds. They also have these beds that are like round, and well, it's not really a bed, I guess it's just a planter, but it's round and it's on casters. So if you're front porch gardening or back porch gardening or balcony gardening, I think that would be incredible, because then you can just sort of roll them from place to place. I'm definitely going to be getting some of those because I want to plant like potatoes or stuff like fruit trees that we can take with us because we move pretty often. Side tangent on Vigo Garden, but I will have them linked down below if you're interested in any of their stuff. They're incredible. Having a retractable hose, being able to bring a hose into my house is life-changing, and I'm able to just water my plants with the hose on top of the Plant-A-Potty. Like, anything you can do to simplify the more arduous tasks of houseplant care is something that I think you should do. I'm a really, really big proponent for making things easier. Even though in the past I have made things much harder on myself, but I could see now in hindsight that it was just keeping my plants from reaching their full potential because I had all these rules set up for myself of how I had to water my plants. But I found ways to sort of keep those rules around while also making it easier on myself. And I think that that's just having been doing this for many years as I have, you kind of learn the little tricks of the trade. A lot of you have been caring for plants as long as or longer than me, but if you are new to plants, you're getting all this information right at the start, so you can just make your life easier from day one. And I'm freaking jealous that you guys get that. Okay, the last plant that I'm showing off today is my rickrack cactus, and I am so excited about this. I still haven't potted it into anything. This is the pot I'm thinking of putting it in, but I kind of am looking for something a little bit more special. I should actually just go look in my shed and like my cabinet system here, because the root system is probably not that big on this plant, so it probably doesn't need anything too intense. But anyway, I got this from Lowe's. There was a weekend that I went to Lowe's like 6 different times, and I passed by this plant every single time, and I just kept thinking about how much I wanted it. And then like one time I checked how much it was, and it was like $12 or something, and I was like, okay, for 12 bucks I can do this. I mean, it's a very full, beautiful rickrack cactus, and I'm really loving jungle cacti. I think that they're so easy to take care of, number one. They're so beautiful and striking. Like, look how unique this is. I just love all of the different shapes and sizes and all of the little, it's not fronds because it's not a fern, but it gives fern without being a fern. Like, if you want a fern but you're afraid of ferns, I'd say this is a really good option. And especially like as they get older and longer, they kind of cascade down, and it's just super pretty. But we did go to Home Depot earlier to like look for some Memorial Day deals, and I saw some really beautiful ferns, and unfortunately I still passed them up because even though they're on my wish list this year, I'm still pretty afraid of them. But I do think that I want to try a maidenhair fern, which is like the most picky of all ferns. But I really want to try one in a self-watering pot because I do think that I could maintain it, but especially with the humidity in this room, like it is so humid in here. So I don't know. We will see. But anyway, Miss Rickrack Cactus is such a stunner. And I'm telling you right now, I bought this plant. I haven't even thought about it since I bought it. And it actually has new growth. And it's just a really great low maintenance plant that I never, ever am going to have to think about once I have it potted. And I could even put it outside if I wanted in the summertime. I think it would really love that. But I did buy it because I had a spot on my cabinet over here that needed something to fill it, and she was the one. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this video. You know, I love a good yap. I love to yap about my plants and the products and just the things that make my life easier, because I am at heart an older sister, and I just want to make everyone else's life easier. So if I can pass on any sort of knowledge or expertise or tips and tricks, I want to do that because I want other people to not have to struggle the way that I did. So If this was helpful, please give it a like, comment down below your May favorites, and make sure you're subscribed if you're not already. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye.